Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another Starcraft Remastered replay for you guys. Once again, we have a great engagement here from the year 2003. So once again, a retro replay for you. And yeah, let me just start by introducing to you the players as we see the observers now killing each other, the SCVs. Let's just see this one SCV being the victor. Oh yeah, let me just introduce the players like I told you guys. Here in the upper right, in the purple, it is comeback time, but this is of course ELKY from France. And his opponent here in the lower left in the red, it is NAZGUL, a Dutch player. So yeah, two pro players, this time from the European scene, as they're spawning here on a very interesting map. I believe it was called Paint Hill or something similar. I can't quite remember, but yeah, interesting maps from the year 2003. Protoss versus Terran it is. Let's see how the build orders have changed or what exactly the two pro players will prepare for us. For many guys of you would know that Terrans really like to go into those mechanical units, into those siege tanks, those vultures and Goliaths and so on. But ELKY is always up for a surprise, like we've seen in a recent replay where he actually rushed the Protoss with some Marines, with some bunkers, even pulling some SCVs and even having some tanks. So yeah, always up for a surprise here, this player. We should be very focused here on him. And yeah, the Protoss set, I don't have that much info here about this Dutch player. But yeah, pretty standard open up here by him with a island and gateway, as it seems to be a 4 spawning location map. The observers also nicely hiding here their command centers. I believe back in those days you would have needed someone to host this game for you, or perhaps it was a LAN event. It was really back in time, almost what, 20 years ago. So really interesting here to see these two pro players. As you guys know, of course, ELKY is currently, I believe, a very successful poker player. I still have to do some research on that, but I do know that he's playing poker. So yeah, I wish him, of course, all of the best and very good cards in poker. So yeah, let's just focus on this game. This should be, of course, the cybernetic score. So pretty standard stuff here by the Protoss. ELKY with a barracks, and I believe it looks like he has nicely walled in here just to not allow any harassment from the Protoss, as we are at the 2-minute mark, almost 30-second mark here, and ELKY is already moving out here to scout the map. He has his gas up to supply depot, so the pretty standard stuff. Also casual pylon here into this location, perhaps just to give the Protoss a vision here in case there is a dropship harassment coming. Of course, back in those days, Terrans really like to do those dropship harassment. We've seen this from Boxer, and I believe many Terrans really like to copy the build order and the strategy from Boxer. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if ELKY would go, of course, for harassment. This seems to be a high hill, so some siege tanks could, of course, also deal some damage here towards those buildings and even towards those probes. And yeah, ELKY slowly but steadily is moving here forward. He's very soon going to spot the position here from the Protoss. There's already a Dragoon out, and I believe the Protoss also wishing to wall in here a little bit, as the Dragoon is now chasing, of course, this SCV away. The SCV sees the upgrade going up for the range upgrade here for those Dragoons, so he knows that pretty much like many Protosses early on, Dragoons really strong against any Terran, so he might even try a harassment here against ELKY just scouting here all the proximities, scouting for any cheesy gameplay here for robotics, hidden robotics facility. And yeah, now it's time for NAZGUL to move out with his Dragoon. Actually, he has 2 Dragoons already, but he still has no idea where ELKY is positioned here on the map. As ELKY, what is he building here? A factory? No, there is his factory. Oh, he's going for a nice hidden fast expansion here. Interesting stuff here by ELKY. He will very likely upload it really soon and put it down into the location. Now we have the siege tank ability. We also see the production tab here in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. And there is that hidden robotics facility, so we might see some shuttle harassment here by the Protoss with some reavers. It could be a possibility, as the 2 Dragoons are now slowly but steadily closing in at the position from ELKY. ELKY with that siege tank ability almost being done should be able to fend this off, because the Dragoons, of course, have no vision here in the high ground, so they need to be retreated. 3 Dragoons already, but the siege tank is going to be also ready soon here to siege up. So yeah, this is sadly a failed attempt here by NAZGUL. Of course, his scouting was a little bit late. ELKY is of course going to hold his position, and this expansion seems to be floating here into this location, as we also see the Protoss now going for a expansion into this. So this seems to be a small island here with a ramp. Interesting map here for these two pro players. Yeah, pylons are nicely being spreaded here by NAZGUL. Really nice forward thinking here by him, as his dragoons are also in hold position. Those players playing very safe, no harassment early on. And we also see another expansion here by NAZGUL, so kind of a greedy gameplay here by him, really wanting to have that economic advantage early on. ELKY of course has no idea about this. He might try a scan really soon. There is this engineering bay, and more of course it's going to be the transition into more factory units. Yeah, mass siege tanks it should be. Some vultures could also be interesting, and yeah, you look at that, the vultures are being produced with those mines. Of course, mines early on really strong against the Protoss, but the Protoss already has here his observatory, so he should be ready for that. And we even see a Templar Archives. Now this will be very interesting to see. Is NAZGUL going for a harassment with Dark Templars, or is he actually going for High Templars? It could be an option here to go for some High Templars, drop them here into this expansion point, and just deal as much splash damage as possible. So yeah, we're closing at the 10-minute mark, and by the looks of it, NAZGUL is going for that harassment. Here is his first observer, and the Templar Archive is about to finish, and I believe as soon as it is going to be finished, he is going to spawn the first Dark Templars. We see now a nice observer here that will be very likely soon going to be taken out. ELKY tries of course to mine everything here, but the Protoss is ready for that. He has those servers. Hold on, he might take some damage here out of this one mine, so he needs to be careful. And yeah, I'm sure he's busy producing those. Let's have a look. Still no Dark Templars, still no just mass dragoons here for him, so I believe he's just waiting, given the fact that ELKY already has some detection here. He has that turret, and there are some siege tanks, so it would be really hard for him to move here forward. But look at that, this location is not really that defended. Finally, no, still no turret here for ELKY. So this could have been a very nice harassment spot here by the Protoss, as he's now transitioning here his units, and ELKY also nicely scouting the map here with his barracks. Still no scan available here for ELKY, so this position is not really that known for him. He has no idea what is happening here. And worker wise, we actually see ELKY with more workers here than NAZGUL, but NAZGUL has this expansion extra here, so this is exactly why ELKY is sending out here his scouting engineering bay and his scouting barracks. Yes, still no harassment attempt here by NAZGUL, still no Dark Templars. More and more gateway units. Actually, he's transitioning into more zealots now. So zealots it is going to be here for him. And let's see if he's going to make something happen here against ELKY. ELKY still on the defense, still on the scouting mission, still sending out some vultures. But yeah, now, given the fact that he has seen this island with those dragoons, he knows that there is something hiding in the lower right part of the map. So yeah, still scouting some probes on idle. Of course, it happens. Even some SCVs here on idle. Yeah, still defensive gameplay, but some tanks are now moving out here for ELKY, and he might really want to bust here through and just snipe some of those probes. Let's see if he's going to be successful. Yes, the tanks are still moving forward. It's 4 tanks here for ELKY. They might be backed up really soon by those vultures. Those vultures try to keep this army at bay, but yeah, they really might try to reunite. Hold on, we do see now those siege tanks now here sieging up, and of course the pylon withstand no chance. So NAZGUL really has to bring some reinforcements into this location. Some dragoons are on idle, and there it is. Zealots with speed, they will already take some damage. This is also nicely being mined here by ELKY. So ELKY sinking nice forward here. Zealot will clear this up, and yeah, ELKY might have to retreat, as there's so many Protoss units coming here towards his tank location. 5 tanks with some vultures, even some SCVs here for repairing, and perhaps for placing some turrets down. And now ELKY is pretty much surrounded, so siege tanks aren't sieged up here. One has fallen, but the position is actually really good here for ELKY. As this is just a small gap here for the Protoss, the same can be said here about this. So yeah, the NAZGUL takes quite some time here to move forward. ELKY nicely spreading here his units and kiting them back and forward, so just to deal more and more damage. In the end, this will be held off by NAZGUL as he's pushing now ELKY back, and this Zealot might get sniped when the siege tanks are really low. Some splash damage could be dealt here against those units. And yeah, finally the attack has been held off, so more and more gateways are being produced. Is there a forge here for the Protoss? Let's have a look. I don't see any forges here for him, so no upgrades for those units. Let's have a look at the ELKY's units. Are they upgraded or not? Also 0-0, so most players not giving importance towards those upgrades, even though we're at the 10-minute mark. And yeah, let's have a look at the base from ELKY a little bit. Yes, it's just 5 factories here for him. He's even transferring more SCVs into this location, so an interesting spot here for ELKY. Perhaps the Protoss will also take this location, so yeah, a little bit of harassment here by ELKY, but in the end, once again, both players are calming down and just settle up here their macro-orientated game against each other. So yeah, let's have a look what exactly is going to happen. But hold on, some vultures to make it here through with some mines, dealing quite some splash damage. Some zealots have fallen, even some probes have taken damage. Still the same amount of workers here, so somehow those vultures just passed here through with that speed, so dealing some havoc in towards the base here from NAZGUL. So nice stuff here by ELKY. But yeah, like I told you, in the end, both players are pretty much preparing here their macro game. It's going to be mass mechanical units, even a starport here, so we might see some science vessels with EMP shockwave, always good against in a late game. And perhaps even some Valkyries, as you have seen from the thumbnail. There will be some carriers, but hold on, we actually have a drop here with some zealots. We have some zealots just for that splash damage here. And yeah, the siege tanks will hurt each other, even hurt those SCVs. Really nice stuff here by NAZGUL. And yes, some SCVs have taken damage, but in the end, reinforcements are pouring in here for NAZGUL. The same can be said here about ELKY as he's bringing here his tanks. And yeah, really strong harassment this time by NAZGUL. He really wishes to take out this tank, and with this he's going to be able to snipe some SCVs perhaps here. It's nicely blocking here the entrance, so ELKY in a little bit of a trouble. Still he has a quite strong worker count, only one worker has been sniped. Now finally the workers do take damage, but in comes ELKY with his siege tanks. The command center is also taking damage. Now finally 4 SCVs have fallen here, so nice harassment by ELKY and he's by NAZGUL, and he's even bringing here more and more zealots just to take care of those siege tanks. So nice harassment. Of course, in the end this should be cleared, but at what cost? 4 SCVs have fallen, some tanks and some vultures have fallen here, as well as we have a double shuttle gameplay here by NAZGUL. So interesting stuff. Not going into those Dark Templars, just heading straight in towards zealots. And now we even have a Archon here. So, and while all of this is happening, of course, the Protoss, like we've seen in previous replays, they really like to expand while harass. So this is really so much important for a Protoss player. Just harass your opponent and at the same time just expand to have that economic advantage against a Terran or Zerg, for example. More and more shuttles. These shuttles are doing quite some good damage against those siege tanks. And let's have a look what the next decision is going to be here for NAZGUL. He even has an Archon and some zealots. Some tanks have been sniped here, a little bit out of position. And let's have a look. He's probably going to drop here once again just to block this entrance, just to block the ramp, and he's even bringing some zealots forward. So the Archon very tanky with his shield. And yeah, NAZGUL might try to move here forward with his zealots, or is he just taking some splash damage? Needs to be careful. At the same time, we see ELKY just mining here the exit from those gateways. So really nice harassment once again by ELKY as well. As yeah, the zealots will fall in the end. Both players still at 61 workers. Might even snipe one High Templar or two, so this is really important. But there's just so many shuttles here for NAZGUL. Really great stuff. However, he needs to be careful with those High Templars, so much of an important unit as they have been sniped now. And yeah, in the end this will be cleared, but the vultures have done their damage against those High Templars. High Templars are really strong, especially against sieged up tanks. really doing so much splash damage. And yeah, once again, so many Dragoons. It looks like NAZGUL will be going for more Dragoons and less Zealots. Let's have a look what these shuttles have into them. It's just empty shuttles. They might, oh, he's just wishing to expand here at the 6 o'clock. Nice, I guess he just had to take the whole fleet of shuttles with him to expand here into this location. Yeah, interesting stuff. Now ELKY still on the defense, still preparing here his macro game, still pumping more and more SCVs out. Let's have a look at the next harassment attempt here by NAZGUL as he's moving out with some zealots. He's now finally lifting everything up in his shuttle fleet. He might even try more and more shuttles. Let's have a look where he's going. The vultures will spot this attempt. I don't know if he might even drop here into this location, or he's just perhaps wishing to scare ELKY away. And yeah, some zealots just to clear those mines. Let's have a look at that shuttle gameplay once again, taking some damage. Where is he going to drop? Perhaps he's checking the 12 o'clock, but there is nothing there. And yeah, finally there is that expansion here from ELKY, so will be sniped. But yeah, nothing at the 12 o'clock yet here for ELKY. Yeah, pretty good harassment here by both players. As we're closing at the 20-minute mark here already, we see that these are quite long game here in between these two crews. And yeah, siege tanks it is with vultures, but like you've seen on the thumbnail, ELKY will very likely have to transition into some Goliaths. And interesting enough, many players actually forget here about their SCVs. And as I say this, finally the SCVs do move. Here some SCVs are on idle as well. So yeah, I guess they were just busy with their production and their defenses and so on, as so much is happening here on the map. And yeah, ELKY slowly but steadily is mining here the map. He is taking a straight position, a straight, strong offensive position here in the middle of the map. The shuttles will very likely try to take more units out as finally in come those vultures, but this Archon is really so much tanky here with his shield. So yeah, it will be eventually cleared out by ELKY, but yeah, in comes the reinforcements. So he should be able to clear this out. Let's have a look where exactly those shuttles have once again disappeared. As more and more is being prepared here by the Protoss. Of course, he could go also into a arbiter gameplay with some recalls. This would be a perfect position for a nice recall, as we even see a dropship by ELKY. So yeah, recall into this base just to snipe those production buildings would be really indicated here. But let's have a look at the next steps here from the Protoss. The Terran really nicely, like I told you, having the middle position, mining everything, having these siege tanks in the back, having even those turrets for detection, as the Protoss is being kept at bay here. So yeah, good stuff here by ELKY, as both players at the 177 mark. ELKY with more workers than his opponent, and yeah, even having this expansion set up. So yeah, both players, nice macro game, as ELKY once again is moving out with his vultures. So many mines. We have the shuttle once again. The zealots will take splash damage, so NAZGUL needs to be careful against those mines. There is of course an observer here, but it gets snapped. Finally a arbiter is getting dropped, but it's taking so much damage. Another arbiter, so that's an Archon. Archon gets dropped here, and zealots once again in the front, dragoons in the back. And yeah, slowly but steadily the Protoss is moving here forward, taking some casualties, but the same can be said here by the Terran as well. That's nice stuff here by both players, just hurting each other. The mines also hurt, and the preemptive Goliath here, I believe he has scanned here the location from the Protoss. There might have been some starports, as yeah, the action is still going on here in the middle of the map. The Protoss will of course try to clear those mines, try to clear those turrets as well. And yeah, let's have a look what exactly is going to happen. This expansion is a little bit exposed, so a siege tank could deal some damage against all of those probes if that shuttle would come in by the Terran. In the meantime, we see NAZGUL coming in with those dragoons, with those zealots. This position might also be attacked here really soon by NAZGUL, and there's so much action going on left and right, but still the dropship is not being pulled. Two SCVs here, perhaps just for repairing purposes. And yeah, NAZGUL actually deciding now to move out with those dragoons into this location. Interesting enough, ELKY not deciding to sieging up, just leaves those tanks, and that was a little bit of a mistake for him. Now he's finally sieging up in the back. SCVs had to be pulled. So yeah, SCVs not mining, just taking quite some damage. Yes, this one tank survives, and now he's getting killed. So good harassment here by NAZGUL against ELKY. In the end, ELKY should be able to clear this off, but at what cost? Like I told you, some SCVs have been sniped, vultures and SCV taking damage here. So good harassment by NAZGUL, and yeah, also sniping those tanks, really important here for him. Now yeah, NAZGUL in the middle of the map, taking control. Those mines have been cleared, tanks have also been cleared. So pretty good stuff here by him. And I believe this hatchery, sorry, this Nexus of course, has been sniped here at the 20-minute mark. So yeah, nice stuff here by ELKY. Sorry that I missed this one. And once again, ELKY is moving out here with his Goliaths, with his tanks. I believe he really wishes to take out this position. He did have a dropship, there it is. He could take the dropship here into this high ground and just have a vision. Yeah, I'm pretty much sure he knows exactly what he's doing. And yeah, we still have a nice engagement here, vultures all over the place, Goliaths just to lure those dragoons into the siege tanks. And yeah, slowly but steadily, ELKY is moving forward. He has 1 to 2 weapons upgrades, so he's looking really nice. Let's have a look. 2 weapons upgrades here for the Protoss. And yeah, finally some probes will be sniped here. Let's have a look. In comes those shuttle as he's going to drop. Sadly, just 1 Archon here, so the zealots have fallen. In come the reinforcements here by NAZGUL, so he should be able to clear this off, to fend this off. Really nice job here by him. And yeah, let's have a look what exactly the next steps are going to be, as I believe the harassment is going to be continuing here. And yeah, some probes really have been snapped here, so not that many probes remaining, just 65 here for NAZGUL. And let's have a look at this location. Oh, look at that, we actually finally see the fleet beacon here and 4 starports, so it is going to be a great transition here from the Protoss sorry, into those carriers like we've seen on the thumbnail. But the question is it going to be enough against all of those factories here by ELKY? Actually it's just, oh hold on, he also has some factories here. But yeah, mechanical units it is going to be here. Also in 2003, very popular build, but those Archons really great counter against those Goliaths, also the Dragoons. So yeah, really nice stuff by both players, as once again a regroup is happening here for ELKY as he's pushing back here those shuttle, and he also has sniped so many shuttles. Really nice job. As we see now, NAZGUL moving once again, I will leave forward into the upper left part. Is just 1 zealot here giving vision to them. Yeah, let's have a look. He should be able, of course, to clear this off really nicely. And yeah, there are no defenses. Finally some defenses come here through from the back from ELKY, but a little bit too late, as although SCVs have to be pulled. And so much splash damage here being taken. Sadly he is losing so many workers, but hold on, at the same time we see a drop here by ELKY with some Goliaths, and those Goliaths have also nicely sniped all of those units here. So interesting stuff, damage happening here. Left and right, both players are hurting each other, and I believe there was a bigger drop here, so sorry about missing this. Might even had some siege tanks, as so many workers have fallen here for NAZGUL. So yeah, both players just pretty much hurting each other's economy. But yeah, NAZGUL of course has to rebuild, and he even has 1 carrier out. And yeah, this expansion has pretty much been cancelled here by NAZGUL, but in the end NAZGUL holds here his position, and he has those carriers being built. So yeah, the expansion from ELKY falls, but the one from NAZGUL stays alive, as now finally ELKY would be able to clear this off, even though the Arbiter is taking, Falcon is taking quite some splash damage here. So yeah, however, the mission was successful. He did kill the command center, he did kill so many workers. ELKY has rebuilt, and sadly the drop here from ELKY not really dealing so much damage against the economy from NAZGUL. NAZGUL just quickly on the repair, quickly onto building those cannons against those vultures, and even having now quite some 4 carriers, and more carriers are being produced. So we have 4 already being a crucial number for carriers. I believe even if you have 6 or 8, 8 is already really strong. 4 is pretty good. And yeah, let's have a look. Another drop here by ELKY. This time I did miss it, so really nice job here by him. He's going to snap that cannon. Now he's heading straight towards the probes. So yeah, sniping the shuttle once again. So many shuttles have been sniped. So really good job here by ELKY against his opponent. And yeah, the expansion will just retreat. All of those probes will retreat. Let's see if he's going to snipe the main here as well, as the probes are hidden here in the back. Perhaps the Goliath should move a little bit forward. And yeah, ELKY even remaking here the expansion really quick. Those players at the same amount of workers, but hold on, we actually see some carriers now coming in. So the carriers should be able, of course, to clear this off really nicely. 4 carriers against those units, so ELKY really has to transition into more and more Goliaths. Either that or he can make some Valkyries, would be interesting, some Wraiths, have some battle cruisers. Would be nice to see some battle cruisers here from ELKY. As yeah, there's still Dragoons, there's still Archons here for Nazgul. Yeah, let's have a look at the main from ELKY. It still looks like mass factories here for him. Let's have a look at his unit composition. Still tanks with Goliaths. I believe he's going to stay into tanks with Goliaths. Some dropships are here as well. And yeah, he might once again try to harass perhaps this location. Let's have a look where there's more minerals. Perhaps this location will also be harassed, but this is exactly why Nazgul is bringing here his forces through. As once again a smaller army troop is moving out. And I believe they should be backed up. Yes, indeed, they will be backed up by those carriers. So Nazgul is moving forward. Many SCVs here, not that much of a protection here by ELKY. Those dropships should have been here, of course, to defend this side. Let's have a look. ELKY is also moving out. He decides to snipe this expansion. For both players, just hurting once again each other's economy. Some SCVs do make it here out alive. And yeah, this expansion will be cancelled. The same can be said about this expansion. But at the same time, those carriers are really so much mobile. And once again, no defenses here for ELKY, as the carriers just come here through to kill those SCVs. Or are they just heading straight for those SCVs? No, they're killing the main here from the Terran just to stop that mining as fast as possible. So nice job here by Nazgul. Let's see the reaction just on SCVs here being brought in here by ELKY, but ELKY sadly is going to lose so many workers here. He's already at 38 workers, 37, so yeah, what a big loss. And Nazgul is still doing pretty well. There is another dropship being done here, but there's 4 carriers once again. Such a nice fleet by Nazgul against his opponent. And yeah, let's have a look what exactly is this going to be doing. Of course, cannons will fall. He might even unpower all of those starports. Yeah, the cannons will fall really quickly. The carriers are retreating, of course. There's just so many Goliaths, so they have to retreat into a better position, while the main fleet is also moving here back. And yeah, let's have a look what exactly Zerg is going to be doing. Still some carriers do fight here, but so many Goliaths should be able to fend this off. Yeah, let's have a look. The reinforcement should of course come here through for Nazgul. Archon is here, or perhaps he just abandoned this location. He might try a pincer maneuver from left and right with those carriers. As yeah, ELKY is doing really nice job here with those Goliaths. He even might snipe a carrier or 2. Let's have a look. Some of his forces are here to protect perhaps the upper left part. And yeah, I see an army move out here by the Protoss. Yes, so many high tempers, even some carriers. So sadly, ELKY's units are being pretty much surrounded from left and from right. Even built a turret here, interesting enough. And yeah, now so many Goliaths, so he still might have a chance. But hold on, we see some Dark Templars here by Nazgul. Now ELKY might snipe a carrier or 2, but those Dark Templars are just a perfect counter against all of those Goliaths, and they will snap them really quickly here. So yeah, ELKY in a little bit of a trouble. So much has been mined out here on this map. The Protoss might take this expansion, ELKY might take the upper left, and he's also taking here the 12 o'clock position. The Protoss still mining from this location and this location, but like I told you, he's much more mobile here with his carriers. Let's have a look at the next target from the Protoss. He really has to go for those expansion perhaps into this location. Perhaps he's thinking about this location, but there are observers here just to spot out any expansion. And I believe this is most of the army here from ELKY, as the carriers are once again moving out and even repairing their shields with that shield battery. So nice strategy here by Nazgul with that shield battery. Really great stuff here by him. As yeah, so many SCVs have been dropped here by ELKY, but ELKY a little bit slow with that transition. Finally, there we go, going to mine the upper 12 o'clock position as those carriers are coming here through. But there's quite a strong number here of glides, and the mining is continuing at the 12 o'clock, so some reinforcements, some more glides might pour in here for ELKY, as he's even trying some long distance mining. And there we have those reinforcements, so those carriers need to be careful. ELKY might once again snipe a carrier or two, so the position is really bad here for NAZGUL. Finally he's hiding here in the fog of war. Yeah, ELKY still holds, he's still long distance mining. He might even expand here, but there is an observer and a zealot. So yeah, once again have a engagement here, but the reinforcements are pouring in by NAZGUL. He has those Archons, even 4 Archons and 4 Dragoons. He should be able, of course, to snipe this expansion quite easily. And what exactly can ELKY do? Somehow, if he spreads those siege tanks, he might have a chance against his opponent. Let's have a look. The expansion has been sniped. What is going to be the next target here? He leaves a Archon, and by the looks of it, ELKY comes here through with some SCVs, but NAZGUL, yeah, he looks like he's heading straight towards the 12 o'clock position. So yeah, and leaves those units here just to snipe those SCVs. A little bit of mistake here by ELKY, losing all of those SCVs, and his command center is also going to fall really quick. Sadly for him, he doesn't have vision, he can't really see his carriers, as some units are also being brought here. So yeah, the Archon is going to deal so much splash damage against those SCVs, but the real damage is of course being taken here by ELKY. And I believe now with only 16 workers, he might give up, as the position is really good here for NAZGUL. So NAZGUL doing quite a nice job. We also see so many observers here, in case you guys are wondering. Those observers are of course needed against Brace with that cloaking device. Let's have a look, what exactly is ELKY having. I don't see any here. There is his main army, he's trying to attack here, but there's just so many Dragoons and Archons. And let's have a look, yeah, one by one I believe NAZGUL is going to take out unit after unit, and of course this has to be the GG here for ELKY as he's leaving here the game. So quite a nice game, straight transition, nice transition here by NAZGUL into those carriers that have brought him the victory. Now let's just check those stats really quick in case you guys are interested. Quite a long game here from 2003, many observers. Once again, I'm going to be clicking left and right in case you guys are interested. Not that high of a APM, but that's okay. And yeah, really nice and interesting old game, retro game here in between these two pro players. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, this replay we'll be seeing, of course, in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.